I'm Mandy, and I am the co-founder and creative director of Hemme Custom. We make window treatments and we do custom home decor sewing. We have design services and some ready-made product. And I also do interior styling and decorating. So it's been about 10 years when we bought this house, and I swear I have spent more time picking out an electric toothbrush than buying this house because it was the neighborhood. It had tall ceilings. And it was a good price point because it really needed a lot of work. So we saw it and we jumped on it. The house was a lot of layers of old renovations, sort of DIY stuff. It was really dark. You could see the potential with the ceilings and stuff, but it's quite narrow and it was just in really bad shape. So we thought we're just gonna strip it right back. We're gonna bring in as much light as possible and just hope for the best. We lived in there while the contractors worked, and I came home from work one day and the whole back of the house was gone because it had to be redone. That was a panic moment. But after that, I was like, if we can get through this part, we can get through anything. Phase 2 then was the nicer reno where I could actually see progress. We hired Mazen El-Abdallah to help us with the kitchen and bath, like the real guts of the house really needed a designer's eye. He designed our kitchen and he helped with the bath and figuring out where the plumbing stacks and everything was so that it was a really functional row house. It's a Victorian Rowhouse in Toronto. So we went with this sort of more trad shaker cabinet. I wanted a natural stone. I wanted to open it up so that you could see through the back of the house and get as much light in as possible. So we didn't do any island. And then when there were nooks and crannies that we could work with, like we put in a built-in bookshelf for all our cookbooks. My husband and I are both really big cooks. So it was really important that this was a really functional chef's kitchen. I am surprised at how well it has aged. I did choose like a really dark green color, and 8 years ago when we did this reno, everyone was like, you're doing green cabinets? Like, why aren't you doing charcoal gray? And I wanted to do painted cabinets. It was a little cheaper. To me, dark green is like a neutral and it goes with anything. The marble, my husband and I were really back and forth on for the obvious reasons, like it etches and stains. And Mazen had a really good point. He's like, go to your favorite restaurant and there's a marble bar there, check it out, see how many patrons have used the marble over time and if you can live with that sort of look. And I really liked it. So we did a honed classic Carrara marble.
And is it full of stains?
Oh yeah, some etched up, there are stains, but it blends in. It's that very first stain, you're like, oh no, you panic a little bit, but then you just keep adding. It's like a Pollock of stains and it's okay. This living room, just the way our lifestyle is and how we live, it's like our main hangout zone. We had some nice pieces, but they did wear over time. So like this sofa was a nice natural linen, kids stains like galore. So I chose a dark green wool and that kind of extends from the kitchen. I color blocked that green through just for some continuity. Same with the marble. I brought it into the space as well. So really, they are separate spaces, but they also are one space. Because we are both work from home, the more traditional living room of this house I have turned into Hemme Studio. So this really is the main living area. The kids have a space upstairs, but they play down here and I just have a few little hide the toy moments happening. And we wanted to really open it up with the doors to the outside so you could be in here, but you can also transition outside and it feels like one fluid space. And that's what really feeds the most light into this house. The backyard, it really is just a parking pad where you can keep a vehicle, but instead we park on the street and we turn it into a garden dining area. There was no privacy with the neighbors. So item number 1 on our list was just putting in fencing and a proper gate in the back for security. We chose a herringbone brick pattern, which you can also still put a vehicle on. So we didn't lose that function of the space, but it feels sort of like it goes with the house. Because there's no grass, we needed greenery. So we planted 5 juniper trees. They add privacy and it just gives you that nice outdoor feeling. The dining room has moved spots a couple times as we sort of figured out our flow in this house, but we ended up putting it in that room, which I think is probably the more traditional spot for the dining room. I got an old vintage table at Restore that was like $120 for the whole set. That way the kids can sort of beat it up and I'm not so panicked if they're drawing on it and everything. It's just one of those old pieces that can grow with you and it extends to fit 10 people. We eat dinner in there, we color in there, we do homework in there. It's the only room in the house that I painted a blue. It's Cromarty by Farrow & Ball, even though I'm pretty loyal to my white, Oxford white, Benjamin Moore. But it was just that right spot to do something. And it's a little soft, a little dimmer. There's not a lot of light in that room, so we layered in some different lighting, and it's a bit moodier. The front room needs to be done. But it is my home studio right now, and it's a nice big space, and I think it's great for what I'm doing right now, and I think it'll be my next big project. It's like turn that into an adult-only living area with no TV. That's the plan, that's the plan. We started Hemme Custom during the pandemic, so it was an immediate work from home situation. So I feel lucky that I sort of had that space, and it kind of works with the rest of the house. Like I can work, the kids are in here, it's all open concept. I threw up a pegboard. I'm a visual person too. I need to see all my tools out. I can't have things in boxes. I had an old dining table with an extension leaf, put that out, that's my work table. And I had an old bench that used to be in the bedroom that sort of tucks under that table, so there's lots of room to move around. You could pull it out. And I just tucked my computer in the window. And that's sort of a little makeshift, but made it work moment. The entrance, there used to be plasticky wrought iron curlicue staircase, which obviously wasn't original to this house, which was built in like 1890. I don't think they had that. So I really wanted to make it feel like it belonged to the house. We found some spindles, and I had our contractor put them in nice and tight so it felt really chunky, and painted it all out. And the newel post we got at the door store, just so it had that sort of historical vibe. And then just because of the kids' stuff coming in and out, like when you're in a row house, you don't have a garage, you don't have a mudroom, all those things. So I just slapped up some IKEA Billy bookcases, put on some hooks, and that just makes the front hall work. The kids' bedroom, they were in the smaller office. So I gave them the bigger front room, which would have been the original principal bedroom of this house. My husband surprised them with some IKEA Cura single bunk beds, and I was like, okay, I can make these work. So I did some little white bed curtains, and they have like a total little fort vibe. So even though they're in the same room, they really have their own spaces, and they can close their little curtains. They wanted pink walls, they wanted rainbows and unicorns and all the business. I was like, okay, let's do pink drapes. And so I did really nice pink drapes, and I feel like that really anchored the room. Like it gave it a lot of height and presence. And then the next component to that room really was storage. So we put in some Pax wardrobes, which are not necessarily a kid item specifically, but they will work as they grow up. This house too, because it was built in the 1890s, it had no closets, and the ones that it did have, you could not actually get a hanger in. I was like, I don't know what hangers they had back then. They must have been mini. So the bedroom, I made it a charcoal gray wall. It had charcoal velvet drapes, and I thought this would be very cocoony and great, and it was immediately really dark and drab and sad. Didn't work. I wanted to really have fun with that room, and so I thought I need a good inspiration. We love cottaging in Georgian Bay every summer, so that was sort of my inspiration for the palette. The soft gray blues, the board and batten type wall felt like a cottage. My husband was not into wallpaper. There's no wallpaper in this house. I love wallpaper. It's okay, I'm over it. So that is when I thought, okay, let's make this a feature wall. I just bought some 1x2s and a simple miter box and saw. I could cut them to size, put them up with some nails. It was a good like 3-day long weekend project, and then painted it out just like a soft sort of putty color. That sort of set the stage for then the oak bed set, and kept it all sort of light and airy, especially after my charcoal disaster. I'll send you a picture. I just knew from our condo days living with my husband, we needed separate bathrooms. I mean, it's an age-old story. And it's perfect, that's his bathroom. I'm in the main bathroom. I'm a tub bath person, he's a shower person. It's good. I didn't want to do glass that we were cleaning every day, and I'm a fabric person anyways, so we did a very simple linen fabric curtain that's easy to wash. We did a marble tile, which I regret so much. I love the black hex tile. I have it in my hall in porcelain. It's very durable, but I thought in the bathroom underfoot, you want that nice feeling. You can clean it and it's clean, but you see the water. So I thought I was being so clever not having the glass that you had to squeegee and clean every day, and then we ended up with a kind of a high maintenance floor. You know, you kind of learn as you go. And so next house or next project, no marble in the shower. The main bathroom was part of the original renovation, and I just really wanted my space, special space. Didn't quite have kids at that time. I went to the bath centers and I just didn't love the modern tubs. I wanted something that felt like it should live in this house. So I ended up with a reproduction clawfoot tub. We had the feet plated in unlacquered brass because they were really shiny chrome. And we actually only did the 2 front feet and not that, because you can't see the backs. And it was expensive to plate them. Such a trick. When the painter was here working, I was like, can you paint the tub? And he's like, oh, that's an enamel situation with a tub. But he did it. I think painting a tub is like a deal. But he did it and I love it. I have a black tub and I think it's fantastic. We did marble subway tile in the back, and because it's a freestanding tub, we had to do the sort of shower surround with the brass as well, and hem shower curtains. It has not been redecorated this whole time, which I think is a good testament to the original design. Like, it is really held up. And now that I had 2 little babies, they have their baths in there. It's very cute. I love this house, but it's just making it function for a family of 4 has been the trickier part lately. But it's really been a 10-year process and it's not done. Like, I still have a couple rooms left to work on. But putting in all those final finishing touches makes a huge difference. It just made the space really happy for us, and like, we love being here. We often find ourselves all together in one spot. So we're usually all on the sofa or we're all in the dining room doing coloring, and it's like a really good homey feeling.